great to be at a conference that's for us with someone who cares about us all individually and uniquely. It's amazing.
It's so inspirational. Like everybody who's speaking, all the keynote speakers, all the workshop speakers.
Now we all have a team. We all know we're in the same boat together. We're all pulling together for the same purposes. And now we're meeting people that are like-minded, and we'll bring that back home with us and say, people around you, come with me because we've got a group, a community that's going to change the world, going to change architecture.
What's next for the Young Architect Conference? I want to share with you what my Michael Rosica vision is for the Young Architect Conference. So the first thing's community. Community, community, community. I've been talking about this all weekend long. I want the Young Architect Conference to be a yearly must-attend event for you guys. I want you to come back next year. I want you to treat this as almost as a yearly check-in, as a time to come somewhere and reconnect with all these people and get inspired. I want all speakers and workshop leaders to be a part of the community and actively participate in the conference all weekend long. I want the Young Architect Conference to take on a life of itself. If you have an idea about something that you want to do at a future event, let's work together and let's try to make that happen. I want to use this as a tool for mentorship within the profession, and I feel like that's already happening all weekend long. My goal is to get the Young Architect Conference profitable, but I want to use the money to reinvest it back into the community and give grants and scholarships to people who have brilliant ideas, who need $10,000 to go make something happen for other people. And really, I want to empower the people who are passionate about this conference to be a part of the team and to help me take this way beyond my capacity.
I'm hearing some awesome feedback already from people, which makes me super excited too. People are, commenting and coming up to me and saying stuff to me about how it's working for them and what they're taking away from it already, which I think is exactly what the intention was, to get people energized and excited from the get-go.
I ended up getting up 10 minutes before I had to be at work every morning, and I felt like I was walking to my funeral every day. My heart would start to flutter, I would get short of breath, and I had this feeling. What in heaven's name am I doing? It got so bad that I went to the hospital to get an echocardiogram. I thought I had a heart condition because I was so stressed out from this toxic environment. So as I'm reading the results of my echocardiogram that are completely negative, nothing is wrong with me, I'm saying, what am I going to do about this? And I decided therapy. That is what I'm doing. In therapy, 12 weeks of therapy, 12 sessions over 24 months, I worked on a plan. That exit strategy. Exit strategies are good. I decided that I was going to work there for 6 more months. I was going to finish my A.R.Es, and then I was going to get the hell out of there. I left that last session on cloud 9. I had a plan, everyone. I had a plan. I was feeling really good about it. 2 weeks after my last therapy session, I got laid off. Everyone's always like, "Oh, Rachel, it's a blessing in disguise." And I was like, there's no disguise about it. I spent most of the meeting getting laid off convincing the person who hired me that really it's okay. It sucked, yes, and it was a setback, but I was determined that it wasn't going to be a setback. There are some joys of unemployment. That Monday, you don't have to go to work after you get laid off, but you're still gonna get a couple more paychecks, is pretty good. I had time to start a band. We were called Fun Employed. You missed our 3-month tour. I'm really sorry. I also got the opportunity to get more involved with AIA Central Virginia. I was already involved on the board, but this was really a great opportunity for me to step it up, learn more about how the AIA operates, and I even helped some people pass their exams through the AIA while I was laid off. And then most importantly, I had time to get my next role right. I'd had an okay experience, a really terrible experience, and then everything from the architecture school horror story that I know everyone has to build on, to say, I'm getting it right. What do I need from a workplace to keep me happy and healthy? Someday in this profession, to make it to the 21st century, it's all about you guys. If you're interviewing, we have to go out and demand more of our workplaces. Don't work at places that don't do these things. Quit places that don't do these things. I'm not telling you to go quit your job. But if we can all start demanding more, the whole tide is going to rise together. people that don't offer these types of things won't have young people that want to work there, and that's going to be a real big problem for them. They're going to have to change in order to start hiring young people again. So it all starts with you. So that's my charge. Take these 5 aspects, go find the job that gives them to you, or take it back to your firm and make your firm better.
Meeting everyone here, I feel like we've known each other. I feel like we all just connect really well because we just, we're all going through very similar things. And it's so refreshing to just be with like-minded people.
Yeah.
So.
And inspirational.
Yeah, very.
The speakers, the workshops, and the other people here, it's all been inspirational. It already makes me want to go back and do more.
Lit fire under my ass.
I hear over and over again from young professionals, I don't like this. I'm not being treated right here. My firm doesn't support me. My response is always, what are you doing to change that? There are 75 million millennials, 75 million Generation Zs. A whole shit ton of you are going to be working right next to me, and I can't wait. Cannot wait. But you know what? If you're not doing something to change it, then you're a part of the problem. So go big or go home. Get out there. You have a voice and power you don't even realize yet that you have, and you have it right now. Start using it. Band together and make that change. And change our world, because you know what? I'd rather work next to you than anybody else in our industry.
My story is your story. I think all of us struggle to find our place, to fit in, to understand where we belong. And so I'm hoping by sharing my story, and it may seem very random and have nothing to do with architecture, but I hope in the end it comes together and makes sense and gives you some takeaways that might help you prevent some of the heartache that I experienced. Or if you are kicking ass, like I know a lot of you are, it'll just reinforce that you should embrace who you are and continue to be awesome, continue to be you, and build up your confidence to continue. So that's my goal here. I'm going to start my story where I think a lot of stories start. Origin story of a lot of architects. How many of you had Legos and loved Legos growing up? Yeah, awesome. I fucking hated Legos. And in fact, when I started architecture school and everyone was sort of coming together and forming camaraderie and talking about how they got to where they were, I felt like I didn't fit in because I didn't relate. And as we were continuing to move through architecture school and studying the history of architecture and comparing our favorite styles of architecture, and oh my God, Mies is just such an inspiration to me, I didn't get it. And I didn't care. And I was so confused. I had no idea why I was there. I didn't feel like I belonged, and in fact, I felt like I didn't deserve to be there because I wasn't passionate the way that everyone else I saw was passionate. I didn't look at the masters of architecture and understand how I would get to be there. I didn't see representation there. I didn't see a path there. It wasn't my path. Do you, be you, and don't apologize. Can't remember the name of whoever was asking how to stop saying sorry if you're here yesterday. But just don't apologize. Be your authentic self. It's who you are. You know it's what you want to do, and just do it. And you're going to have to do this over and over and over again to learn a lot of different elements in yourself. So rinse and repeat. And then I think the most important step is to carry those pieces through, remember them, hold on to them, and start connecting them, because that's who you are. And then build the future your way, right? We're all architects, or we want to be architects. That's what we want to do. We want to build the future. We want to build communities in some way, your way. So put those pieces together to understand how you operate and what you're most interested in, and just do it your way. So you decide who an architect is, what an architect does. This doesn't have to be what represents you. It probably isn't. It's okay if it is. But your perspective, your version of architecture, who you are, your unique self, you belong to this industry, and you deserve to be here, and declare that to yourself and to declare that to the world.
The conference is great.
Yeah, thanks. You brought amazing people together, and I'll definitely be trying to get back next year for sure.
I thought it was fantastic. It met and exceeded my expectations. I met some cool people like Taylor here. She's so cool. And I would not have met her if I didn't come here, so I am so happy that I came.
When I have the opportunity to meet people and talk about GFDA, the very first question they always come at me with is like, what the fuck is that? And what are you doing? And how do you sustain yourself? What are you doing for work? And I think the too long don't read or didn't read explanation of GFDA is that we're a US-based studio that helps organizations realize crazy dreams, accomplish impossible goals, and harness the power of culture by taking the right creative risks, right? That sounds so snazzy and nice. You know, it's like you've just like smoke and mirrored everyone in the conversation into telling them really about what you do. But the reality of what we're doing is constantly a work in progress, right? We have no idea what we're doing, right? And that's, we do that on purpose, right? We appreciate the journey over the destination, and we appreciate the experience of creating new work. We look at the work we do and we frame it in a specific way where we are able to imagine what success looks like, right? We don't adhere to the standards of other people and what our industry believes we should be doing. And in doing so, we like the ambiguity of the work, and we like the way that we don't necessarily understand what our studio does. But in saying that, we do have a strategic plan, and I think you should write it down. So follow me here. Number one, get shit done, right? I see some pencils moving. You're very smart people. Number two, have a good time doing it, right? If I wouldn't go to work every day if I didn't enjoy it. And the minute I stop enjoying it is the minute I walk away from it. And for me and Brian, we've continued to enjoy the relationship of working together as well as creating great work and experiences for other people. Number three is pretty simple. Remember points 1 and 2, both very important. And finally, know what you're doing at all times, right? Be absolutely certain of what you're doing. If I leave you with anything, it's these 5 pieces, and I count down, because if I started at 1, you'd be scared. Make use of your gifts, not just your capabilities. I think so often we're put into positions where we're just exercising our capabilities. And if we do that for too long, we start to actually lose sight of what our gifts are. Like, we lose sight of the passion and the reason why we even made it to the capability conversation in the first place. So I really encourage you to document or take a moment to really reflect on what your gifts are and make sure that you're exercising those all the time. You'll never have enough time, money, or experience. Those are the 3 things that are always in short supply. And those are the 3 things that we use to describe the reasons for not starting, right? We're always like, well, I don't have enough experience in this, or I don't have enough knowledge, or I don't have enough time, I'm busy and I have all this. Well, you got to make those things. Or you just have to be bold and say yes, which is the next one. Wow, that worked really well. Be bold, act, and say yes. But just as important as saying yes is saying no, right? It's having an opinion one way or the other. It's knowing what work is going to improve whatever your trajectory is and leaning in that direction and being very intentional about it. And I think finally is calibrate for creativity. So often we want a more creative life, we want a more creative lifestyle, but we're not making the time and we're not even making the effort to provide that for ourselves. Creativity is hard. You know, it doesn't come just by saying it. You have to make the room and the space in order to have that as part of your lifestyle. And if you're not calibrated for that, you'll always be missing the mark and you'll always be frustrated with yourself in that regard. And then finally, I always leave people with this: risk everything, expect nothing, and prepare for anything.
This whole conference has had a general theme of leadership, and honestly, Mike is the embodiment of the leader that, people in our situation really need. Someone who's really got your back while you're trying to further your career, and he does it in such a way that we're really just kind of helping each other, with him just being the facilitator, and that's really appreciative. And
he does it in an honest way and from love and support.
Yeah, and the people that follow him are really great people, so everyone here is just amazing. Not just doing things for each other, but also doing great things out in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He's known as a mentor and a friend to many of you. He coaches people through the A.R.E boot camp to get them past these exams that they have to go through. I'm going to ramble on. I won't ramble on. He's, despite what he says, he's also my boss. So we'll give him a big welcome, Mr. Michael Rosica.
Thank you. Does anyone work in an architecture firm that kind of looks like this? Up until a few years ago, that was what the profession of architecture looked like. More importantly, in a few years from now, this is what the profession of architecture is going to look like. Does anyone see themselves up on this picture? You guys are taking this thing over. You're taking it over, and people your age are moving into positions of power faster than it's ever been done before. The young people in the profession are now mentoring each other, working laterally, helping each other figure this stuff out. That's something that never happened before. We're mentoring each other. It's been happening all weekend here at the Young Architect Conference. All this Young Architect stuff started because, one day I just started writing on youngarchitect.com and I put it out there and it started resonating with people. The content creators are manipulating the conversation. Technology has given voice to people who traditionally wouldn't, couldn't, or shouldn't be heard. The architecture profession has become more niche than it ever has. It just grows and grows and grows and grows, and I always like to say, there's room for everyone. Not everyone needs to be a generalist. And even for myself, guiding the young architects, doing all the young architect stuff. I'm better at writing the blog post and doing this podcast, the social media, creating this conference, than I am at creating sets of construction documents. So there's room for everyone, and finding your niche and where you fit in is a really big part of it. So as we move forward, I want you guys to embrace the change. I want you to embrace the change and connect with the change makers. Let's drop this fucking competition. We're all in this together. If one person's successful, we're all successful. Let's be open to mentorship. Everyone is a mentor. There's no such thing as that magical genie mentor. And I want to say thank you for being here today. I hope you guys are having an amazing time at the Young Architect Conference.
Young Architect Conference.
See you in 2020.
See you in 2020.
I'm looking forward to see you there, and woohoo!
See you in 2020.
2020. See you in 2020.